Hi there, I hope you're all well. I've got the amazing Dee with me today, who's one of our incredible clients. So over to you, Dee. If you could just introduce yourself, that would be great.
Hi, I'm Dee, 53-year-old senior teacher in a school working with challenging students. I have a fiance, I've got a 15-year-old son. Um, yeah, that's me really.
Perfect, perfect, cool. So
Hmm.
going back to the first part of working together, like initially, what was the main reasons why you wanted to work with me?
I think initially the first reasons were I'd got myself to a point in my life where, you know, things weren't going right. And I think been happening over a period of time. And then it only takes that one moment that you step on the scales and you think, oh my God, this is the heaviest I've ever been. And then you think to yourself, I can't remember the last time I had a good night's sleep. I can't remember the last time I had a good laugh about things. I wasn't worried about stuff. Um, Going through perimenopause as well and trying to make sense of that and deal with all those symptoms as well. Because generally you don't feel yourself and you feel like you're losing your mind slightly and kind of feeling completely out of whack with myself and kind of not in control of myself. Um, but I think the main catalyst was the way stepping on the scales that day and realizing how how much it had got to and how it seemed to happen so easily. It really made me feel that I've got to do something. I've got to take some control over my life. I've got to make myself happy again and be that positive person that I want to be. I feel like the person that I wanted to be and the person that I saw in the mirror and reflected back to me um, wasn't the same, and I wanted to kind of close that gap a little bit.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
I think
of
so.
course. What kind of things had you tried before to get the results that you wanted?
I've tried quite a lot. I've been on different kinds of diets, and it's not that any of them don't work. It's just that on their own, it wasn't enough. So a few years ago, I've been on quite a restrictive diet, and that was linked to my blood group. I think I did lose a lot of weight on it, but it wasn't. I couldn't keep it off consistently. I've been on like low carb, high protein diet, which worked for a period of time, but I wasn't consistent with it. I've tried intermittent fasting, which again has elements that I still actually use now, but in itself, it wasn't enough. I've had a personal trainer. I've worked with some amazing people who are really good, and every single bit of advice they've given me over the years has been excellent. However, that in itself wasn't enough for me to lose the weight and be consistent with losing weight and getting to the place that I wanted to be. So really lots of different things which over time hasn't worked, and then you have that period where you just slip back into old ways. So
Of course.
yeah.
And how did it make you feel when you were trying all of these other things and they just wasn't working for you?
Well, initially, you know what it's like when you start a new program or a new diet scheme, you get really excited. You go, well, I go gung ho for it, and I think this is it, this is going to work. And you always find that initially you will lose weight, and I think it's maybe making a change. And then what happens is that it's not sustained, and it can become, it's that awful feeling of, you feel like a bit of a failure. You feel that not only have you, not moved forward, you feel like you've even taken a few steps back, especially if you've lost the weight and you know that you can do it. There's nothing actually stopping you, but whatever the program that you've used hasn't been like holistic enough to actually make sustainable changes. So yeah, it's quite disappointing. It knocks your self-confidence, knocks your self-esteem, and you're back to where you were at the beginning, feeling quite low about yourself, feeling that sense of failure. and feeling that you can't do it. And then you're back in that mindset of where you were at the beginning of it all. So each time you go through it, well, for me anyway, um, I feel like looking back now, each time I went through a period of trying something new, then losing a little bit of weight, and then it not being sustained, I feel like I actually put on more weight over time, and it had a detrimental effect. So yeah, it's not been a great process really.
Right, but rolling on to today, we're around the 8 week mark roughly now. What's been your biggest results since starting?
Oh my God, there's been so many. It's really hard to pin it down to one thing. I mean, the fact that I'm a stone lighter than I was when I started is incredible. It's amazing. And yeah, I mean, and it's just something that I never thought I could achieve in that short amount of time. So that's incredible. That's been the biggest win. But there's been so many other things, so many other things. Being a dress size down already is just incredible. I'm actually opening my wardrobe and putting on things that I haven't worn in years, which is amazing. And having all that choice, all my lovely clothes that I love. Um, and I think there's other things that I've gained from it. I mean, a lot of the program is a lot about mindset, about being positive, about being courageous, about doing things that challenge you. And for me personally, things, I've got a bit of a fear of heights and water, and I had a horrible bike accident about a year ago. So being in a situation where, I went with my son, and we went on the water, and we went, oh, what's it called? Oh, I've forgotten the
Kayaking.
name of it. Yeah. We went kayaking, that was it. Yeah, we went kayaking. And I know that the old me would never have done that, because I would have just been so terrified and so fearful, and just so self-conscious about myself and my weight. Getting back on the bike, because I want to be a positive role model for Luke. And I want to spend family time. I want to be someone who can get on the bike and have a day out with the family. Lots of things, just like even with just myself, kind of having more energy. Like each morning I get up and I do something, whether it's a workout or whether it's a walk or a little jog or something. And I feel like that every morning I start the day with a positive, and it makes me realize now how many times I had to literally drag myself out of bed, or how many times I'd convinced myself to not do something that I really wanted to do. So actually, there's been so many benefits to it. And even recently, and I don't know if this is like a direct thing, and possibly more your influence, but not drinking now for 3 weeks. And it's made such a big difference. Even just like having my weekends back. I'm 53, I can't really do hangovers anymore. And the amount of money you save, because I'm not having to take taxis everywhere. So I'm able to kind of go out, enjoy myself, do everything that I would normally do. But I'm also able to kind of have the next day where I've still got I've still got the whole day to do what I need to do. So it's about that energy, feeling positive about myself. A lot of the work around, you talk about, mindset and journaling. Waking up every day, and part of my routine is kind of looking at my goals. Well, I set my goals. By this stage of the program, I'm actually looking at my goals, and it's not just this is somewhere in the future. When I look at my goals, I know that I'm kind of achieving it every day. So I start off every day feeling quite good. Whereas before, you know, and I said to you before, I've talked to you before about stepping on the scales every day and how awful that made me feel, and how it just started my day really badly. But now I don't do that anymore. I weigh myself on the days that I need to. But because I do that journaling, I start off my day on a positive, because I'm thinking about, well, what am I going to do today? It's going to get me closer to where I need to be. What exciting things do I need to look forward to today? How am I going to show up today? Set myself a target for the end of the week. So what am I going to do today to move forward with my target. And that's really lovely. And even the mornings where I just think, well, what am I grateful for today? And that's such a simple thing, isn't it? Oh my God, such a simple thing. But it actually starts your day um, with a different mindset because you're thinking about all the things that are amazing and beautiful and wonderful about your life, and all the things, and they're normally quite simple things, aren't they? Basic things. But in the day-to-day grind, you kind of forget it. And I think it's getting back in touch with myself, with the things that are important to me. I remember one morning writing in my thing what I was grateful for, and I think it was like my sleep, my bed, and getting 8 hours sleep, because it was all about sleep at that point. But I thought, how amazing is that to have had that lovely sleep, to get into a nice comfy bed at night, to know that, you know, I'm in a really nice home. And so many people don't have that, and I should be grateful for that and be appreciative of that, and actually think about the fact that I work blooming hard to have that nice home and that nice bed
Yeah.
and everything. So yeah, there's so many changes I've made, I feel, because maybe just I'm generally happier. I'm less kind of irritable and moany at home, which is probably having an impact on my partner and my son as well. And I think perhaps that inner, I don't know if it's happiness, contentment, it's that sense of achieving. I feel like I'm achieving stuff. Um, but the weird thing is, I feel like with this program, it's quite sustainable. There's nothing, it's not rocket science. It's not like I've had to learn Einstein's theory to lose the weight. It's really simple stuff. And I feel like it's things that I can do moving forward with myself. Um, and another thing that I hadn't thought about was like having an impact on other people. I've been talking to people about the program and what I'm doing, and people
Mhm.
are quite interested. It's like, oh, how does it actually work? Well, it's not a magic pill. It's about being mindful, about being structured, setting your intentions, and being kind to yourself, and celebrating your progress, really. And I'm really enjoying that. So there's been loads of benefits to this program. I've said to you before, you know, you've really saved me. I was in such a different place, you know, 8 9 weeks ago, and I honestly don't recognize myself and the person that I am, waking up with energy and purpose. And the best thing is, even on the days where I don't really feel like doing stuff, I do it anyway. And that's not like me. So I don't really feel like going for a walk, but because that's what I do now, I get up and I go for a walk, or I do a little jog, or I do my workout. I just kind of do it, even though even if I'm not in the mood for it, I just do it now. And yeah, I'm hoping I can continue on that on that journey. Yeah.
So what would you say, you summed up that amazingly well, by the way. What would you say has been the biggest kind of features of the program that's helped you achieve these results?
Biggest feature, I feel like um the accountability, that daily accountability is really important. That sense that, not that someone's checking in on you, but you know that, you know, it's easy to talk the talk. We can all say we're going to do stuff.
Mhm.
I feel the accountability is like, it's the actions. What actions are you taking, and being checked up on the actions? So if you go to a PT, like, you know, when you're with them and you do your workout, you're doing it with them. But then what are you doing when you're not with them? They're not able to help you to be accountable around that. Whereas I think with this program, because we've got that accountability, and also I think with the coaching, the calls that we do, the group calls, I feel like there's support from the whole group and yourself as well. But I like, you know, when you do some of those training sessions and you talk about positive mindsets, and you talk about people that would be interesting to listen to. I've listened to quite a few podcasts. I've got a couple of books that you've recommended, and that's allowed me to delve a little bit deeper into the reasons why I've got myself into a situation where, you know, overeating, I'm not happy about myself. So that's given me a bit more understanding. So I feel it's definitely the accountability, it's the support, it's that group coaching, but it's also like the sessions that you do about the positive mindset, because it's strange because it's all stuff that I kind of know, but when you put it into practice, it's so powerful. It makes such a difference. So I think all of those things together um, is what makes this program a bit different. I've never been on a program that was as holistic as this is. Um, and I feel having someone that you can message or text or, share the good news with, and kind of shares the days when you're finding it a bit tough as well. That's been really good. Yeah. Mm.
And last thing really is, I know when we initially spoke, it was a good few weeks when we initially spoke to actually when you joined up, right? So there's going to be a lot of people that see this video and they might be similar to yourself, on the fence. Do I, shouldn't I? So what would be your advice for those kind of people?
I would say don't waste the 3 weeks that I've wasted. I feel a bit embarrassed that I did now. Um, just go for it, because it definitely works. The program works if you're prepared to, you know, follow the advice and stick to it, and actually commit to it, and don't just pay lip service to it, but back it up with actions. Then it will definitely work. If you follow the program and you're consistent, there is no way it can't work. So, you'd be a fool not to do it. When I think about how many, I won't even say hundreds, probably thousands of pounds over the years that I've spent on diets, on PT, on gym memberships.
Mm.
And actually, you need someone to simplify it all for you. And it's so much easier. And actually, it's worth the investment, because it's so much cheaper compared to all the years of dieting and PT that I've spent over the years. And it's got me to where a bit closer to where I want to be in a very, very short amount of time, with very little effort. And it's as I said, it's not a hardship, it's not rocket science, it's doable. But without all the elements of the program there to help you, it's really difficult, because I couldn't do it. I'm 53, and I couldn't do it. I needed that level of support. So yeah, if I could go back in my time machine and go back 3 weeks, I would just say, look, just do it.
Yeah.
Don't mess about, because this works and you'll get what you want. And the sooner you start on it, the sooner you'll get it. So yeah, don't waste any time.
Cool. And yeah, sometimes it takes people much longer than 3 weeks. So yeah, it's totally okay. But look, if anyone else has got any questions for Dee, I'm sure she wouldn't mind answering them. And I know you're a very busy lady, so I really appreciate your time. And I'll see you soon.
Take care.